Hello everyone, my name is Sofia Diaz, and today I'm going to be talking about algorithmic bias in data-driven decision-making systems. First, let's understand how this system works. They receive information, which is data, process it, and give you a recommendation. Pretty straightforward, right? However, there is a problem, and that problem are algorithmic bias. Here we can see different definitions, but I will define algorithmic bias as systematic unfair outcomes that either benefit or disadvantage certain individuals or groups of individuals. So, how does it happen? We need to understand that there are different sources of algorithmic bias. For example, data bias, which are problems with the dataset used to train the algorithm, method bias, which deal with the design, development, and deployment of the machine learning algorithms, and societal bias, because we know these systems are used within a societal. So social, cultural, and demographic factors can result in adversarial impact on the outputs. Here we can see different examples for each of the different sources of algorithmic bias. However, there are also different categories of bias. This can be pre-existing, which are within individuals, and most of the time they are unconscious. They can also be technical, because technical parameters and tools are used during the process. And also, these systems need to adapt according to new technologies and how society is evolving, so they are also emergent. Here, it is important to make a distinction of two important concepts: automation bias and automation compliance. As humans, sometimes we can have overconfidence and over-reliance in the system. This relates to automation bias. On the other hand, automation compliance happens when we are delegating our decision-making responsibility to machines. Now, to understand this, let's look at Amazon's hiring bias case. First, they created a system to help them hire people. They trained it with mostly male resumes, which was a problem in the dataset, because then the system recognized these patterns and decided to not hire women perpetrating harm and then creating a simulation bias. So this is an example of how these systems are being used in our daily lives and can affect our lives if they are not used and built properly. So how do we address this situation? So there are three main levels in which they should be addressed. Domain experts, because their knowledge should be incorporated into their systems, and users, because they need to understand how the systems work in order to hold organizations accountable, and society, so it can be better incorporated into our daily lives. Now, I wanted to present some existing literature and research themes that have been discussed over the past few years, but I would like to add that it is important to start researching about the impacts and behaviors that algorithmic bias have in society and the consequences of not managing them correctly. Finally, what comes next? I will suggest that professionals from different disciplines get together and involve in the design and development of algorithms and data-driven decision-making systems, so we all know how they work and we can better understand and address the problems that might emerge. So thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please let me know.